Hey everyone, and welcome to my channel. My name is Megan. I do sewing, embroidery, and other crafty things. And in today's video, we're going to be talking all about embroidery machines and the different options, and kind of talking about what would possibly be the best fit for you and what my recommendations are. So as you guys may know, I have owned 2 embroidery machines. So I believe I have a decent amount of experience when it comes to embroidery. And I also follow other embroidery YouTube content creators as well. So I feel like I have a decent amount of experience when it comes to embroidery. So I thought I'd just do a quick video and talk you guys through the different options and prices and different things like that, so you guys can kind of come to the best decision for your first or maybe your second embroidery machine. So when you're thinking about an embroidery machine, there's a few things you want to think about. So first is how passionate are you about embroidery? Do you have a mild interest? Are you very interested? Kind of what is your overall level of interest in embroidery? If you're not really sure if embroidery is your thing, I would buy kind of the lower end embroidery machines that kind of do smaller designs. But if you're like me and you have the crafting gene, as I like to call it, since I love to do sewing and knitting and crocheting, I just love to do all the crafty things, and I like to think that I have gift. So if you feel like you have the gift as well, then I would definitely recommend that you get an embroidery machine. So just think about those 2 things. Second is, how much are you willing to spend on an embroidery machine? Are you willing to spend $500, maybe $10,000? You know, what exactly is your budget? And we'll kind of go through all those different options as well. So thinking about all those questions in mind, I would recommend that you do your research before you buy your first embroidery machine. Although I'll provide you guys with all different sorts of information, I think it's important to do your own individual research and find out what is the best option for you. There even may be different sellers in your area that might be selling machines or versus online. So it also depends on what kind of experience you're looking for. If you want to buy a machine that's online, you're risking the possibility of not having the ability to get your machine repaired or get a tutorial on how to use your sewing or embroidery machine. So just think about what kind of experience do you want to get out of it. Do you want it to be quick and easy, where you just maybe order it from Amazon, free shipping or something like that, and get it mailed to your house? Or do you physically want to go into a store and look at what their options are? So again, just think about those couple things. So for my embroidery machine experience, I have had a PE 535. That was my first embroidery machine. I believe I bought that in April 2020. So right when the pandemic was, started, and a lot of mystery involved with all that stuff, as you all know. So I purchased it for about $450 with tax. I think it was about $400 without tax, and then I think it was like $430 or something like that with tax included. And I purchased it from Amazon when it had the free shipping as well. I also looked up this price for this machine, and it's about the same price now. So when I first started embroidery, I didn't really know what to do, so I thought, hey, I'm an Amazon Prime member, let me see what exactly options that they have available for people. So I thought, why not just purchase something off of Amazon? I don't know if I'll be really into this embroidery thing. I think this is really before I found a passion for embroidery. I was just kind of dipping my toes in and seeing exactly, am I into this thing or not? So if you don't know, the PE 535 is a 4x4 embroidery machine. So you can only embroider items that are 4x4 inches. It's a great machine. It's a Brother machine. The Brother brand is very great. So if you're thinking about getting an embroidery machine and you're just starting out, I would definitely look into the Brother brand, because pretty much for the most part for their machines, you don't really have to do any maintenance on it. It's a fairly simple process. I've never really had any issues with any of my Brother machines. So I don't exactly, oh yes, I do remember when I got my next machine. So like I said, I started my embroidery hobby in the summer, mostly the summer of 2020. You know, I was really enjoying the experience. I was having a lot of fun with it. I first started out embroidering like onesies and little maybe like towels and stuff like that. You know, I didn't really do too much. I also made some embroidered makeup bags where I made the makeup bags from scratch. So that's a really great project for a 4x4 if you do have one. So I would recommend a machine like that for people that don't want to spend a lot of money on an embroidery machine. Like I said, it was $440, which is usually kind of the cheapest that you can get for embroidery machines. Again, I got it from Amazon. I don't think it incorporated like any maintenance or anything at all. I don't think. Don't quote me on that, but so, you know, there wasn't really much any training on it at all. I just kind of had to learn as I go. But, you know, luckily I had this thing called YouTube that I utilized a lot to kind of do research on the machine and really learn how to use it. So that was kind of how I started my experience. So then, you know, it was fun in the beginning, but then I realized that, you know, it's very limiting for the designs that you can use for a 4x4 embroidery machine. So I was looking at a PE800, which if you don't know, the largest design that you can do on the PE800 is a 5x7. It's also a Brother embroidery machine. I've heard really great things about it. I haven't had that machine exactly, but it's just a step up above the 4x4 embroidery machine that I was talking to you guys about. So I got my next machine. Well, before I get into that, like I said, I was looking at the P800. I wasn't exactly sure what I wanted to do. So I know before the pandemic, I think the P800 sold for about maybe $500, I think $600 range or something like that. 600, I don't know. But when I was looking for an embroidery machine, it was $1,000 for the P800. So it shot up from $600 to $1,000. And I really wanted to think about, hey, I have some money, can I even afford to go up like a 6x10 embroidery machine, which is how I got this beauty in the back here. So I've had this machine for about a little over a year. I actually have done a review on this machine. So if you're interested in learning more in detail about this embroidery machine, it's the Brother NQ1600E. Like I said, it can do up to a 6x10 embroidery design. So back to my story. I was looking into the P800 because I was watching Angela Jasmina, and I know that Nita Fajita also had a P8, or she had a PE800. Getting all tongue-tied here. So I was thinking, hey, you know, if they've started out with those machines, why not do the same? So I was looking into it, but like I said, it was over $1,000, and I was looking online about different embroidery machines, and then I heard about this interesting embroidery machine called the Brother NQ1600E embroidery machine. And this machine can do up to 6x10, 6x10 inches embroidery field. And it's $1,500 compared to the P800, which was about $1,000 at the time. I looked up the P800 now. So I'm recording this video in the end of March of 2022. And as of right now, the majority of the P800s are sold out. I didn't see many options for places to purchase it. So right now it's kind of ranging around $849 to $1,000. So kind of still in that $1,000 range. But when I was looking for a machine, you know, I really wanted to get a bigger bang for my buck. So I thought, you know, why not throw in an extra $500 and get a machine that can do up to a 6x10? Because at this point I knew that I really had a deep passion for embroidery, and I didn't want to limit myself for the different projects that I could do. So I splurged and got the NQ1600E. I've had this machine for, like I said, a little over a year. I think I got it in January 2021. I got it from a local shop. Well, kind of local. So I used to live in Syracuse, but I used to live in Syracuse, New York, but I purchased the machine from a shop in Rochester, New York, which is where I live now. It was kind of like a little mom and pop's store. And I even went in there the other day, and they sell tons of embroidery machines. So if you really want to have a really great customer experience, I would recommend that you check out different embroidery machine businesses and see what they have. So this shop, I did purchase it online, but I really enjoyed kind of driving up and getting my machine and then going back home. It was overall a very seamless process, and they told me all about the different options that I could do to go to a brother dealership and get it serviced. All information about how to register my embroidery machine. So if it ever needed to be repaired, then I can bring it into the shop. And they just kind of went through a lot of different options. So overall, I think it was a better experience than my Amazon experience, because I really got that in-person experience where I could ask questions and learn more about the machine. And like I said, they have a whole floor of different embroidery machines, so I would recommend that you look into that. But again, it's up to you, If you don't want to go out and look at machines, you could always look them up online and purchase them online and have it delivered to your house. Either way, it's up to you. But I would say that if you are definitely passionate about embroidery and you really want to get into it and you don't want to limit yourself for the certain types of products that you can make, I recommend that you consider the NQ1600E, or the newer version is NQ1700E. And I know you're wondering what exactly is the difference between the 1600 and the 1700. So I just learned that for the 1700E, for another extra $500, so about $2,000, it's basically kind of the same sort of machine, except it's wireless. So you don't have to use a USB or anything like that. You can just use it wirelessly to connect it through your computer to upload your embroidery designs. So I think that's a really great option. Like I said, I think they're kind of phasing out the 1600E. I'm not exactly sure, but from what I'm seeing, that they're really trying to push people to get the 1700E embroidery machine. And like I said, the bigger the hoop, the more projects that you can do. So if you really feel like you have a passion and you really want to commit to, a business or a hobby, then I would recommend that you upgrade to a bigger machine. So now, there are other options as well when it comes to embroidery machines. There's something called multi-needle embroidery machines. So I believe you can get multi-needles that have 6 needles. How that works for multi-needle machines is that if it has 6 needles, you can do 6 colors. So you won't have to thread, like for this machine, you can only do 1 color at a time. But if you got a multi-needle machine, you could thread multiple colors and just plug in the design to your machine and just let it stitch out. Eventually, I'm planning on getting a multi-needle machine, but for now, I'm very happy with my NQ1600E. So that's kind of what I'm personally doing. So one example is, I know that Nita Fajita, she has a Bai embroidery machine. I believe she got hers for about $5,000 from China. It's just like a multi-needle machine. I think that's kind of like one of the cheapest options when it comes to multi-needles. But if you're looking for an embroidery machine kind of on the cheaper side, I would check out Facebook Marketplace. That's a really great resource for different people to kind of get an idea of just hopefully you can get a deal if you do that, right? So definitely look out for scammers though, especially if they have a really great price, but then you have to replace a part. Just think about, well, how old is this machine and do they even make that part anymore? So it's not something as simple as, oh, I'll buy the machine and then I'll order the part to get it fixed. I would recommend that you get a machine that's ready to go and one that's been serviced recently. And also even check out their stitch amount as well, because that'll really tell you how often that machine has been used. So those are just kind of my recommendations. So like I said, if you're not exactly sure if embroidery is for you and you just kind of want to start out, you haven't done anything with embroidery, I'd recommend that you start with like a 4x4 machine. But if you want to do larger projects, then I recommend that you consider the NQ1600E. Don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with the P800, but for an extra $500, you can get a machine like this one that can do up to a 6x10 embroidery design, and again has pretty much no maintenance to it. I've never really had any issues with this machine. But again, like I said, I do a more in-depth review on my channel, so if you haven't checked out that video, the link will be above and down below, I guess. So yeah, let me know if you guys do have any more questions about this process, but it's a lot of fun purchasing your first embroidery machine and getting into a new craft and really testing out different patterns and different things that you can make. And also, if you haven't subscribed to my channel but are thinking about doing embroidery, please consider subscribing, because I have a lot of plans for doing future embroidery tutorials to show you all the different projects that you can make. So there are something called in the hoop embroidery designs where you can create all different sorts of items, including like gnomes or mug rugs, or really anything that you can think of is you can create. You can even make pillows. There's tons and tons of different options that you can do with embroidery. But yeah, so that's kind of it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it and I hope you found it interesting. If you did, please consider giving it a thumbs up. And if you have an embroidery machine, please let me know what kind you have and if you like it, because I think that would help other people that watch my videos as well to kind of get some insight from other people that watch my channel. So again, please consider giving this video a thumbs up and consider subscribing as well, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!